Okay, so today we are going to talk about obscure and underrated Marvel team ups. There are the obvious ones that everyone knows, Avengers to some extent, West Coast Avengers, the X-Men, X-Force, all that. But we're going to start with some team ups that go forgotten, even though they are pretty prominent in the Marvel Universe, as this is strictly comic books. So let's start with maybe not obscure, but definitely underrated, the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. It is a team that made its first appearance in X-Men number 4 in 1964. It was created and led by Magneto. The first members of the Brotherhood were his children, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. I'm going to have one person that's going to comment or argue that they're not his children. Look, the retcon story in 2015 was stupid, and I refuse to acknowledge it. So yes, they've been his children for what, 40 years now? They're his kids. And by the way, the only reason they retconned that in the comic books was because Disney/Marvel did not own the rights to Quicksilver, and that is why he was killed off in Age of Ultron and why they couldn't make them Magneto's children. But that's also a very simple fix now that they own the X-Men again. So my guess is it's going to be retconned back to what its original origin was. At least that's what should happen, but that's fine. Other members include Toad and Mastermind. The Brotherhood of Evil Mutants grew and changed quite a lot, as a lot of our team-ups did. The team itself goes by a number of different aliases, just the Brotherhood of Chaos, the Brotherhood of Mutants, and the Brotherhood of Mutant Supremacy, which is the one that really depicts what the team was about the most. If you know Magneto as a character or his motivations as a whole, he did not believe that the humans needed to be making rules for the mutants, but the other way around, that the mutants, as they were genetically superior, should have been leading and being in control. So that's what he used the team for. And in their major storyline, that kind of comes through in the House of M and the reality that Scarlet Witch created. The team appeared in 1,745 issues and therefore is one of the more well-known ones. I just think people kind of forget that happened. Because though they were mutants, Quicksilver and Wanda were never X-Men. Well, okay, let me change that. Wanda was never a part of the X-Men. Not in not one issue was she ever a part of the X-Men. Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, Avengers, and West Coast Avengers. Next is Generation X. It was formed in 1994, and they made their first appearance in the Marvel Annual Report number 4, and they were disbanded in their self-titled issue, Generation X, number 75, after being involved in 625 issues. Unlike the other X-Men offshoots, X-Force, and 8,000 other teams that start with X, Generation X were not led by Professor X, nor were they trained in the Xavier Higher Institute for Learning. I can talk, sorry. They were mentored by both Banshee and Emma Frost. Emma Frost, whose allegiances have switched up quite a lot in the comic books. Generation X was formed for mutants with hard-to-control powers and that were considered outcasts even by the mutant community. They've also appeared in alternate realities. Now, Marvel isn't DC. They don't have 9,000 alternate universes, which makes it so much easier to follow. Thank you for that. But Generation X makes an appearance in Earth number 295 during the Age of the Apocalypse. In that reality, Gen X was named Generation Next and was led by Colossus and Shadowcat and included Chamber, Husk, Mondo, and Skin as members. There was also a short series of novels surrounding the team as well. It was 3 books, I believe, and there was an attempt at a TV show in 1996. They aired the pilot, but it never got picked up. Next is the Imperial Guard. They first appeared in the X-Men number 107 in 1977 and appeared for 562 issues. The Imperial Guard was loosely based on DC Comics' Legion of Superheroes, and when I say loosely, I mean pretty freaking close as far as that, not the storylines or character arcs per se, but the characters themselves. Hobgoblin, Chameleon Boy. Astra bears a striking resemblance to Phantom Girl, and Fang was clearly supposed to be Timberwolf. This was a team that fought more cosmic enemies, as their most well-known being the Shi'ar Empire. They also had intermingled storylines with the Kree. They also appear in the alternate universe involving Age of the Apocalypse and Earth 41001, X-Men: The End. They also made a brief appearance in the animated X-Men series during the Phoenix Saga. As we know, Dark Phoenix and Phoenix Force, that power is on a cosmic scale, and therefore earthly mutants were not enough to handle her. Let's just go with that. And last but not least, we have the Avengers Unity Squad, which sounds like it was named by DC, but that's okay. Their first appearance was in Avengers vs. X-Men number 12 and disbanded twice. Once in the Uncanny Avengers number 15 and again in Avengers number 690. The team appeared in 398 issues, and they were created by Captain America in an attempt to help mutants more than they had in the past. Cap really had this aching need to help his fellow superheroes, and he felt that the mutants were too often outcasted and were not given the help that they required. So Captain formed a group of Avengers and X-Men alike. The founding members were Cap, Havoc, Wolverine, Thor, the love of my life, Scarlet Witch, and Rogue, which is why it's one of my favorite teams, because it involves lots of my favorite. It involves two of my two favorite Avengers and my two favorite X-Men in Wolverine and Rogue. The new team's first major threat was the Red Skull. This is a very interesting storyline. I'm actually going to describe this storyline because I think it's one of the better ones that exists in Marvel Comics. I said it, haha, don't care. Whereas this version of the Red Skull was enhanced as he had implanted a piece of Professor X's brain into his own, and that somehow gave him Professor X's powers. He had also formed the S-Men, which were a group of genetically modified humans that all had been harmed at the hands of mutants at one time or another. So it's a revenge plot. It's interesting to see Professor X's powers being abused by a villain like the Red Skull. It's interesting to see a different kind of team up between the X-Men and the Avengers. And I think that's an important storyline and an important team. So go check those teams out. There are about 10,000 other little teams that appeared in way less issues, and we'll definitely get to those. I'm going to do a video on like the most short-lived storylines or characters or whatever, but actually my next video is going to be a little bit humorous because it's going to be the most ridiculously named or lamest DC superheroes. So stay tuned for that. Keep reading. I'll keep posting articles, and thanks, guys.